The self-esteem movement. That was the biggest thing I noticed when I came to America, and how the kids in America were different than India. And everybody used to talk about this in the media too. How it's such a great thing that Americans so confident and have so many social skills, and they can socially outmaneuver anybody in the world. Then when you watch Fight Club and movies like that, you see what the reality is. It's not social skills, it's more like social isolation and atomization of the individual in the matrix society. So we're all just like basically rats in a cage, just like they showed us in that Illuminati ritual. J-Lo, I forgot the awards. It's like the Grammy Awards or something show. And all the immigrant kids, all the dreamers, they were all individually isolated in those cages. But yeah, so that's what I noticed, that American kids supposedly had a lot of self-esteem. They were very sure of themselves, you know? Like we have rights and this and that, and we follow rules and whatnot. But I also saw a lot of spoiled kids too. A lot of single. I used to think they were just single children, but maybe they were just mama's boys and pampered daughters. Spoiled kids with arrogant attitudes and very eager to pull you down because of jealousy or whatever. So one thing they used to tell us, which I believed, one of the lies. In the 90s, we got cable TV. Mom started watching Oprah. Dad started watching Baywatch. I started getting desensitized to watching porn. And I don't know why my sister would, it did to her. Except make her a rude and rebellious feminist, I guess. But yeah, that's when my mom joined the spiritual organization too, and became like a nun, and I became like a stoner, I guess. They used to tell us that well, there was this black fucking asshole gym teacher who used to fucking abuse the shit out of my last name uh, and me as an individual in the class. But yeah, he promoted a lie about racism and don't don't fall for those bad guys like my dad who are speaking bad about the black people or the Mexicans and this and that. And I probably understood it wrong. I didn't know the social situation, so I took it as a personal kind of motto, multicultural motto of tolerating everything and accepting everyone, no matter how extreme their culture is. But yeah, so he was like, he turned me against my dad because I started seeing my dad as a racist because he didn't like the black culture at that time. Which I later found out was designed to create more dysfunctional in the black families, which was already broken, and to fuel the prison industrial complex. I found that out later. Uh, the nigger didn't tell me anything about that. Motherfucking house nigger. It was just the blacks and Chinese raping me into a soy boy. Just like my Toastmasters experience. But yeah, that's the fucking atomized society. Everybody turn against each other through mind control and culture in groups. But yeah, what they told me was that the lie they told me was the self-esteem movement when they were sending us these positive messages to prevent us from being negative because as humans, you know, we're just so defective. We need somebody to tell us how to think and how to behave and so forth. Well, we do. Every culture does, but we're not living in a culture anymore. We're living in a end of the world fucking death of civilization situation. While I came to America thinking America is like this fucking golden pot of opportunity and prosperity. uh, but the more shit changes, the more it stays the same. It's just shit, and we're all in it. Um, but yeah, so they told me when your parents are fighting, it's not. Don't think it's because of you, and if they tell you it's because of you, don't believe them, and they're your enemies. Um, but if you think about it, parents, men and women, don't get along that well anyway, as you can see from the gender wars. So if the parents are sticking together, even though they don't have sex with each other, they don't like each other, they don't want to be around each other, they're only sticking around because they want to serve as role models for the parents, for the children, and try to be have an impact in the children's life. So it's partially true that it's because of the fact that you're dependent on your parents as children, and they have to take care of you, which is why they're fighting, which is contributing to their fighting, and therefore you're also to blame for the situation. They wanted us. The positivity movement is all about removing accountability and self-responsibility from your situation and kind of diluting yourself because the reality is really painful into more pleasant delusions for interpreting your world around you, which will cause less problems for your masters too. So yeah, that's just an example. I just wanted to share an example of how the positivity movement and all these PC messages can contribute to some very serious confusion if you take it to heart and don't think about it and judge the veracity of that claim just because it sounds like a religious truth. You take it as a fact, and then all of your life experiences end up very confused, and you really don't know what's going on, and you might kill yourself or you might hurt people around you, and so forth. Hence the shit we're all living in. I can still make clouds. So that's something I'm blessed with. And my Modelo keeping me hydrated through the night, the winter night. Talking about the positivity movement and how it has damaged, and the self-esteem movement, hand in hand, have damaged the intellectual and spiritual strength of mankind. Because it's the communists who push those dehumanizing messages, like see something, say something. They started it all. Reports, the snitch society, the hypersensitivity to every perceived injustice and threat, the lack of concern for the downtrodden and the ones with less than us. That's all part of the communist religion, mindset, education system, culture of the postmodern global society. So it makes sense that the poison Kali Ma delivers is a very sweet poison that you want to ingest while you're in your cage and getting your heart ripped out. You'll believe the lies and fall into hell, fall into your doom, and be destroyed and be fleeced, as is your role as a young man in the communistic society. It's so bad that the number 3 cause of death, and this was 3-4 years ago when I was suicidal, number 3 cause of death in America is mostly young males committing suicide after heart attacks and strokes and stuff and accidents, I think. Other than your blood vessels, supposed clogged blood vessels, and road tragedies and suicides. So that's how bad the young men of America are treated, that probably half of them choose to end their lives or think about it, at least. All the while, they're raised with a supposed positivity, self-empowerment, positive thinking, supposed healthy emotions, and behavior regulations. supposedly they're being helped, all their lives in the right philosophy, but the results show otherwise. Like you Jezebels with your high notch count and nothing to show for it except baggage and poor behavior and continuous poor, insane choices, like a self-destructive downward spiral cycle, which is what we call life. All right, Kunal checking out with probably a pretty depressing video. I feel depressed talking about it, but maybe people are laughing their asses off right now.